Hello there, greetings from Colombo everybody. It's 30 minutes past 12 and this is lunchtime news on News First. I'm Hassan Shazali. Let's start off with a look at your headlines this afternoon.
First parliamentary day of an all-party government limited to debates. Parliament elects Ajit Rajapaksa as Deputy Speaker. Road leading to Parliament closed. Fuel for essential services only, queues across the country. Police arrest ex-politico and municipal worker over attacks on minor Gogama and Gota Gogama.
In a headline-making story, there are long lines for fuel in many parts of Sri Lanka as the country is running out of stocks. The Ministry of Power and Energy has requested people to avoid joining queues for at least 3 days. It says that fuel will be distributed only to some filling stations for essential services. KD's Ron Chandra is the Commissioner General of Essential Services. He says district secretaries can keep some filling stations open to supply fuel for essential service vehicles. Now, there were people protesting demanding fuel by blocking the road near the Koralema petrol station in Horana. Our correspondent reported that the Horana-Colombo main road was blocked in the area for about an hour due to the protest.
ඇත්තටම ගොඩක් ප්‍රශ්න වල තියෙන දේල් පොර නැතුව මිනිස්සුන්ට කරකියා ගන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. දැන් මේ වෙනකොට මම හිතන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ කන්න බොන්නවත් නැහැ. බොහොම මිනිස්සු අමාරුතුම ජීවත් වෙන්නේ.
මේ ඩීසල් මේ ටැක්ටරේ ටැංකිය ලීටර් 1000යි දෙන්නේ මේ කෑන් එකට. ඉතින් එහෙම ගහලා ඉවරලා මේ දුවන්න බෑ. ටැංකිය අරන් ආවා.
කේලුත් නැහැ, බෙහෙතුත් නැහැ, මොනවත් නැහැ. කොහොමද ඉතින් වැඩ කරන්නේ නේද?
ඔව් වගා කරන්න පහුවෙලා තියෙන්නේ දැන් නියරක් බඳලා තියෙන්නේ. වී ටික තියලාගෙන ගහන්න විදියක් නැහැ. අට තෙල් ටික නැහැ, මොකවත් නැහැ. මොනව කරන්නද? දැන් බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා ඉතින් ඩීසල් ටික අරගන්න කොයි වෙලාවෙ ඩීසල් ටික කවුද දන්නේ?
බලන් ඉන්න දෙවිවරු ඉන්නවනම් මුන්ට හෙන ගහන්න ඕනේ මුන් මේ කරපු අපරාධෙට අද මේන් පස්සෙවත් මේ වගේ අදූරදර්ශී පාලකයෝ මේ ලංකාවට බිහි නොවේවා කියලා අපි ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා.
පැය දෙකක් විතර පොලිමේ. තාම වාහන පහක් ගැහුවේ නැහැ මේ පැය දෙකට. ඊයේ දවසේ ඩීසල් නැව නෞකාව පැමිණීමත් සමග ඩීසල් බෙදා හැරීම් කටයුතු.
We began distributing fuel as the ship carrying diesel arrived in the country yesterday. Diesel is being distributed to filling stations across the country, but there is a delay in the distribution of petrol. We don't even have a 10% supply of petrol. We have provided diesel to 70 or 75% of filling stations across the country. We usually dispatch 300 or 400 bouses daily, but now we have dispatched only around 250 or 300 bouses. All bouses will operate when there is fuel.
තපාගෙදරට ඉන්ධන පෙරහුම් මල් වලට ඩීසල් ලබා දීලා තියෙනවා. සාමාන්‍ය දවසක නම් ටැංකියට 300ක් 400ක් විතර තමයි අපි දාවෙන්නට වෙන්නේ. අද අඩුම තරමේ ටැංකියට 250 300ක් සේවයේදී. ඉන්ධන ලැබුණාට පස්සේ සියලුම ටැංකියට දාවෙන්නට එක් වෙනවා.
The fuel crisis has affected farmers in Sri Lanka as well. They say they don't have diesel for their machines to carry out cultivations. Farmers in Mahavilache say they received water to their fields about a month ago, but they say they can't sow paddy seeds as there is no diesel for their machines. Now, the government's fertilizer policy has left many people helpless in rural Sri Lanka. This report is on one family in Hambantota which is struggling to make ends meet.
It's becoming difficult for Asela Kumara and his family in Valsapugala, some 250 kilometers south of Colombo. Mahesh used to feed his family by working as a daily wage earner and a farmer, just like many breadwinners in his village. But with the fertilizer and pesticide shortage affecting the agriculture sector, farming is no longer an option. A half-built hut is home to Mahesh, his wife and his 2 children who do not even have milk powder. Yesterday, this family had satisfied their hunger by cooking some jackfruit harvested from trees nearby. They are paying a heavy and bitter price for mistakes that they never did.
While people continue to batter many problems, what happened in Parliament this morning? Government lawmaker Ajit Rajapaksa was elected as Deputy Speaker with 109 votes today. Sri Lanka's Parliament met for the first time since Ranil Wickremesinghe was appointed Prime Minister. Rohini Kaviratne was nominated by the opposition for the post of Deputy Speaker. She received 78 votes. Today's parliamentary sessions that are taking place amidst several issues faced by the people were limited to debates since this morning.
ගරුගත නායකතුමනි තාමත් තීරණාත්මක ඒ වගේම රටේ
Today is a day that has caught the attention of many people as the vote for the post of Deputy Speaker was held. I wish to thank everyone who did or didn't vote in Parliament. I would serve as the Deputy Speaker for all parliamentarians. I have to treat them equally. I believe that my name wasn't nominated to the post as a result of a sudden decision. My name was proposed last time as well. But since we need to respect the unity between our parties, I respected the party's decision at that time. Still in Parliament, the motion to express displeasure against President Gotabaya Rajapaksa is to be debated in Parliament today. Gayantha Karunatilaka is the head of parliamentary affairs of the Samagi Janabala Wege party. He says the decision to hold the debate as an urgent matter was made during a party leaders' meeting. Now, security around the Sri Lankan Parliament was tightened this morning. Police also closed down the road leading to Parliament from the Puldua juncture. Heavy traffic was reported in the area as well. In the meantime, today is day 39 of the protests at Goldface demanding the president to step down. Senator Sindanaika reports.
Protests are also taking place at the No-Deal Gabba protest site opposite Temple Trees, the Prime Minister's official residence. These protests ran into its 5th day today.
We'll have that story coming your way. Senator Sindanaika will bring us the latest update from the location. But now the Criminal Investigations Department has arrested 2 men over the attack on peaceful protests in Colombo last week. Former Provincial Councillor Amal Silva and a worker at the Moratua Municipal Council were taken into custody today.
The Attorney General yesterday instructed the police chief and the CID to arrest 22 suspects over the attack on peaceful protests in Colombo last week. The suspects include former ministers, parliamentarians and the senior DIG of the Western Province Deshabandhu Thenukon. Former Minister Johnston Fernando, former State Minister Sanath Nishantha, parliamentarian Sanjeeva Edirimana and Milan Jai Tilaka, Moratua Mayor Samanlal Fernando, Colombo Municipal Councillor Mahinda Kahandagamage and Dan Priyasad are among the suspects.
And now, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, protests are taking place at Gama at Golf Face opposite the President's office in Colombo. Protests have been taking place there for 39 days, demanding President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to step down from his position. We have Senator Senanaika joining us from the location. Senator, what do you have for us?
I'm reporting to you from right opposite the President's office here in Golf Face. People, as you know, have been protesting for more than 38 days at Golf Face, demanding the President and the government to resign. Now it's day 39 here at what many people are now calling Gama. Even today, disabled war veterans, I can see the members of the Sri Lanka deaf community, university students, and several sorts of teams, several sorts of crowds are here today as well, continuing to voice their demand. That the demand is the resignation of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. I'm Senator Senanaika reporting to you from Golf Face.
Protests are also taking place at the No Deal Gama protest site opposite Temple Trees, the Prime Minister's official residence. These protests ran into its 5th day today.
On to other stories, the Irrigation Department is warning people near the Kalu, Gin and Nilwala rivers of floods due to heavy rains. Authorities say landslide warnings issued to many areas in 5 districts are still valid. The Met Department has forecast rains of more than 100 millimeters in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and many other districts. The Northern Province and the Hambantota and Anuradhapura districts are also expected to receive rainfall. Now, for the next 24 hours, the Met Department has advised fishermen against going to sea in the region running from Puttalam to Pottuville through Hambantota.
Many areas were flooded in Ahaliyagoda due to heavy rains. Our correspondent reported that this has disrupted the daily activities of the people. Water levels of the Kalu River have gone up. Water levels of the Gin River have also increased. Our correspondent reported that many areas in Baddegama have been flooded. Bulat Sinhala, Maduruvela and Ingiriya were flooded after the Kuda River and Kalu River had overflowed.
Another phase of the Devi Saviya program to distribute dry rations among families in need was held in the Puttalam district today.
The Devi Saviya program, sponsored by LOLC Holdings, aims at supporting low-income families in many parts of Sri Lanka. Food packs were distributed among families in need at 8 locations in the Puttalam district today. 2 teams are carrying out the distribution of food packs today. One team began distributing these dry rations from Pambala, while the other team began its distribution in Mundala.
And in news overseas, we go to China. China's city of Shanghai today achieved a milestone of 3 consecutive days with no new COVID-19 cases. But most people will have to put up with confinement for a while longer before returning to more normal life.
For other cities in China that have been under lockdown, a 3rd day with no new COVID cases in the community usually means zero COVID status and the beginning of the lifting of restrictions. The commercial hub of 25 million set out yesterday its clearest timetable yet for exiting a lockdown now in its 7th week, but the plan was met with skepticism by many residents who have seen isolation extended time and again. Shanghai plans to resume outdoor activities in stages with some convenience convenience stores and pharmacies reopening this week, but with most restrictions on movement remaining in place until the 21st of May, after which public transport and other services will resume gradually. By June, the lockdown should be lifted, but residents will still be asked to get tested frequently.
In sports, it's cricket now. Bangladesh 172 runs for the loss of 1 wicket in the first test match that is being played against Sri Lanka.
Sri Lankaවේ වඩා විශ්වසනීය ප්‍රවෘත්ති සන්දාමය News First. ඔබ ලොව කොතනක සිටියත් අප ඔබ සමගයි. Follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. News First. ඔබේ ජීවිතය අපේ ප්‍රවෘත්ති.
We're up to date with the latest stories here on News First. Don't forget, we will continue to keep you updated on our website www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Hassan Shazuli. Have yourselves a great day ahead. Take care and God bless.